Okay, this video is going to be going over how to do a produce and consume system between two ControlLogix processors. Just how to set up the path and how to get it working from scratch. Now this will be done on a virtual chassis, so both the processors will be in that same virtual chassis. So I got them in slot 0 and slot 1 right now, and I also went ahead and did the programs and just set the programs up. I did not go ahead and set the produce consumed up yet. So what we'll do, we currently have program 1. I named them produced consume P1, produce consume P2. And before we download or anything, what we'll do, this is in slot 1. You can see, so P2 is in slot 1, P1 is in slot 0. What we need to do is add a processor, and we need to go through and add an emulator processor version 20, and we can name it the same name it has currently. So produced consumed P2, and it is in slot 1, so let's correct that. So that's going to add that there in the I/O configuration. And the reason that is important is so when you set the tag, and you'll see this later, you actually use this path. So in the second program, we're going to do the same thing. In the P2 program, we're in slot 1, we're going to go ahead and add the same thing. We're going to go ahead and add a controller, have it go to an emulator version 20. We're going to name it the P1, so the program 1. So produced consumed, I did that twice, huh? P1, and that's in slot 0. So we want to make sure that that path is correct as well. Now, I've already made a user-defined data type. I'll show that to you right quick. So what I'll do is when I come in here and make my tags, like in my tag structure right here, what I'll do is I'll make my tag, I'll say, well, first off, I'll name the tag, so program, let's see, program 1, 2, program 2, so I know which direction it's going. And I'll actually shorten that up so that it's a little bit more understandable. And then for the data type, I'm going to pick my UDT that I have, that ProdCon. And that's going to do, that will be doing the communication from program 1 to program 2. Now in the same token, we want to make one that says program 2 to program 1. And what this is going to do is going to use the same data type. So what we want to do here is actually, so one's going to be a produced. We're going to make sure that this, and we're going to go to edit. We're going to go to connections, we want to say produced, and then that's pretty much all you do on the produce side. Now on the receive side, which is this is the data coming from program 2 to program 1, we want to actually call this a consume tag, and go to connections, pick your processor, and then it's going to be named the same thing on the other end. We're going to name it the same thing. So program 2 to program 1, and then hit apply, and that sets up your produced and consumed. So at that point, we'll go ahead to our secondary processor. Well, again, I have the same UDT here, so I'll go ahead and open up the tags, go to edit, and I'll do the same exact thing. I'll say program 1 to program 2. Let's open that up so you can see it. And then in the data type, again, it's going to be the same thing, the ProdCon. That's the user-defined data that I made. And then we're going to make another one called program 2 to program 1. And in this, you're going to have the same data type. Now, this is coming from program 1, so we want to have it. We want to go to edit. We want to go change the type to a consume tag. Go to connections. Go to where it says right here is program 2. We want to actually have program 1. So program 1 is, it automatically knows what processor you're in right here. So you want to be in, looking at produce consume P1. So select that and then write your tag. So program 2 to program 1. And I keep forgetting that. Sorry about that. Then select OK. Now that's set up, and it shows you the base tag it's connected to, right? So it shows you the path and everything. Now on this, you're gonna this portion right here for the communication going out of program 2 to go to program 1. You want to edit, and that's going to be your produced. And then you go to connections and hit apply. Now that we have both set up, what we'll do is this is going to be program 2, so we're going to go to our virtual chassis and download this to the slot 1. Change it into run. And then we're going to go to, oh, that's a good point too. So if you don't have anything loaded, it's going to show you right here. There's a triangle. It's going to say it cannot find the I/O. There's no connection. That's no worry because we haven't loaded it yet. So right here, we're going on. This is program 1. We're going to download it. And then it's going to be put in run. So we have good connections here. everything's running. We should go to program 2. So program 2 still has a connection problem. Let's see what our connection problem is. So it's good to open that up. It says it cannot establish tag program 2 to program 1. So what we did is very important that we look at this correctly. So program 2 program 1 to program 2 is that tag. In program 2 we have a connection problem with program symbol program 2. So we have a connection problem trying to read this right here. So we have a connection problem trying to read this. And it's most likely because it might be because I put in the wrong data right here. So we should be actually program 1 to program 2, and instead it says program 2 to program 1. So what we'll do is we'll go offline, edit, we'll change this to the exact tag that it should be looking at in program 1, apply, and then go to who active again and make sure we download. You cannot change this while the program is online, so you have to go offline and download it, or make the change and then download it again. So you see that the processor's fine now. So it's kind of good that I put in the wrong data, so it shows you that you have to have your scope of work right. You have to have the tag that's pointing to the other processor exactly matching the tag that it's reading. So, and that will tell you down here in the descriptions of what it's looking for, and that coincides with over here. So with this both working right now, we can actually go into, say for instance, let's just go into monitor both databases. So the program 1 to program 2, let's look at the flags. Okay, so there's nothing popular, or the floats. Let's see, let's go to flags. There's nothing populated right now, but to understand it and see if we're actually talking, we can go to program 1, flags, and then populate this one, and just do a couple of them just to see if they're talking, and then go over to program 2, and you should, yep, so the data populated. So what you can do is, at this point, now that everything's talking, is now you can do your logic and set everything up. So if you were to look at my virtual chassis, and again, this has no hardware, so this shows you how to do a produce consume system with absolutely no hardware. You can practice on your own. So both of them are in run. Both programs are running. I got P1, P2, P1, P2. That's the setup. Again, the reason that I do my program tags like I do is so program 1 should be talking. That's the stuff that's sent out of program 1, and receipt 2 is received to program 2. And down here, this is the stuff that program 2 is sending to program 1. So if we were to look at that, I'm in program 1 right now. I have no data flagged, right? If I go to program 2 and do this same exact thing, say for instance right here, let's just